Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. My name is Don Hughes. This is on NetNewz TV. And today, February 17th, 2025, all across the United States, there are many protests that are happening. And I just want to bring you that news and let you know that people seem to be voicing their opinions and voicing their right to free speech and to stand up against supposed tyranny when they see it. The people are very upset about Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and especially against Elon Musk. They feel that Elon Musk does not have any right to be involved in the government whatsoever, and they have gathered around various places in the United States to voice their opinion. So let's go first to a broadcast that is happening in Austin, Texas, where people are voicing their opinion about what is happening in the United States today.
Have access to the data that helps our environment. Do you want the data kept in the sciences, or do you want it shut down? Shut that data down. He's fired scientists. Over 100 of them. Over 100 scientists fired under the Trump administration. We have to stop this. Otherwise, it's really doomed for life on Earth. Have y'all seen Don't Look Up?
Yeah.
If you haven't, I encourage you to watch it.
Do you remember how many people died from COVID? Good Lord! This wasn't that long ago. He's doing it again, right now, to our health system. As I stand here, he's doing it again.
He's shutting down the information about bird flu. He's shutting down the information about the CDC. He's shutting
Well, I don't prescribe that we should have a coup. I don't think that we should have a revolution. I don't think we should have anything like that. I think that we should follow the letter of the law and give everybody a fair shake and follow due process. And I think that's part of the problem that people are upset with right now. They're upset with the idea that Elon Musk has been given free rein to do whatever he wants. He has access to the people's data, and they see President Trump, just rolling over and allowing for Elon Musk to have this free rein. So let's go now over to Washington, D.C., and see what the people over there are saying about this situation.
Should you get behind me, Satterfield down, it's only temporary, just a moment in time. Because I know in my heart you'll be gorgeously fine. So off you go into the world so true, to be strong and to be brave, and to be gorgeously you. Before I go, I'm going to do a little call and response. I'm going to say darlings, and I want you to say, I'm gorgeous. About yourself, not about me. I know I'm gorgeous, all right? So I'll say darlings, you say I'm gorgeous. Ready? Darlings. I'm gorgeous. Now I'm going to say darlings, and I want you to say, I'm strong. Darlings. I'm strong. Now I'm going to say darlings, I want you to say, I'm brave. Darlings. I'm brave. Because you're all gorgeous. You are strong. You are brave. And don't let anyone take that away from you, darlings. Don't let them steal our joy. Thank you, darling. now. Thank you.
So you can see that was Washington, D.C., and as we all recall, within the past several weeks, President Trump has signed an executive order in which he said that men who believe, transgender men and women are not able to participate in the other's sports and vice versa, that kind of thing. So obviously that was a person who was dressed as a, I don't know what you would consider that person, but, that is a person, and that person has every right to dress and feel and act and say and do however they want. And it seems that the current situation, the current government, possibly doesn't believe in that. They want to limit a person's right to freedom of expression, freedom of self-expression. So let's go back over to Austin, Texas. And Austin, Texas is a place, I believe, where Elon Musk has moved his companies, Tesla. He's basically moved his headquarters, from what I understand, from California to Austin, Texas, where he can, enjoy different rights and different freedoms, I guess, is what he believes. But anyway, let's go over to Austin, Texas, and let's see what the people there have to say.
The data, if you can, take photos and pictures from the back or signs and flyers. Sorry about that, but thank you again.
The audio from there was just was a little rough, and we'll go to another feed and see if they have a little bit better audio there. Stand by just 1 second, and we'll go over to that.
As an illegal person on stolen land, if you encourage you to clarify. This is what democracy looks like. 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 Talking and shouting like the world's not burning. Where are you going to go? Where are we going to go? We have to save not only our community, but Mother Earth. The way they're stripping the government programs left and right. Do we think that Elon's just trying to get to Mars? Because what? Where are they going to live? I'm sorry. Go watch, go look up. It's time to defund these programs. We need to abolish ICE. We need to divest from these programs. What time is it? Time to divest. Now. What time? Now. What time? Now. What time? Now. The people united will never be divided. 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 The people. So what does it look like? What does this look like? It looks like investing in mutual aid. It looks like doing it our damn selves. It looks like going back to the Black Panthers and following their lead. Don't they left us a book? They left us a book. It's not like we don't know how to do this. We need to do this. I'm one of the lead organizers of Austin Mutual Aid. Mutual aid is the future. Divest from these programs. We are empowering them. That is our money they are using to hurt our own community. Divest from private prisons. Your taxes. A big one, I know, it's a scary one. Stop paying your taxes. Encourage your neighbors. The Constitution was built for a reason, to protect the American people. No taxation without proper representation. Do you feel represented? I don't either. So I'm
So currently there are other protests that are happening around the world, outside Netanyahu's residence in Israel, protesters are gathering to mark 500 days with Hamas. And as we know that in the past several weeks there have been a few movements forward, and indeed some of the hostages that were taken captive years ago were released, and there has been quite a bit of movement there, partly because of President Biden, absolutely, but possibly because of President Trump as well. We don't really know. We know that one president cannot do everything. One president cannot rule alone. It takes consecutive presidents pushing for stability in politics, in geopolitics, in finances, and things like that. So one president cannot take the kudos and accolades for doing one thing at a time. So let's go over to Israel. This is a live feed that's coming from the Associated Press, and it is outside the Netanyahu residence, and it is marking the 500 days since the war began with Hamas. So that was a live video feed that was coming in from Israel, and the audio, unfortunately, was associated with the feed that is coming from Austin, Texas. There seems to be a little bit of technical difficulties, a little bit of glitch there. So as we get that situated and we get that worked out, we are going to go live to the video from Austin, Texas, and show you what those people are talking about and what they are protesting about. And it seems to have a lot to do with Elon Musk and President Trump and his executive orders that he has recently invoked. Stand by 1 second while we bring you that feed.
So
power, creating programs the Republicans didn't like, they would be storming the gates with anger and floods of people. It's the people who have the power in this country. Sometimes anger is destructive, but in this case, I'm mad as hell about what they're doing. With gray hair like me, we need more young people. We need to get more people in the fight. It's not just the legislators. It's not just the news media. Fight like hell and say we're not going to stand for them tearing down our Constitution, our country, our rights, our people. They want to starve us to death. They want us to go without medical care. They want us to die. We can't let them do that to us. We have to fight, 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 and get more people in the fight.
All the speakers are on. I'm sorry, you are. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me okay. I want to make sure that everybody here can hear me. I know all of you are looking for a way to make an impact. The time to organize. Again, Austin Mutual Aid is here in this city. Plug yourself into your communities, your buy nothing groups, your neighbors. Link in with Austin Mutual Aid, your buy nothing groups, the Free Fridge Project in Austin. You can make a difference. Find these resources. Link up. We are stronger together. Hello, thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you 50501 for organizing.
So those are people that are protesting in Austin, Texas, and you can see that there was a sign there that said "Nadie es ilegal," so nobody is illegal. And obviously, Texas is a border state, and they must have a lot of immigration. There's obviously a lot of immigration that happens, and there's a lot of illegal immigration, and it is a button issue, and it is a hot topic down in Texas. But we have to remember that there are many people in Texas that have Mexican heritage, and a lot of those people who have been here in the United States for a very, very long time. And, you know, while the topic about immigration is a hot button issue, can you really blame people for wanting to escape governments that are repressive and oppressive? Can you really blame people for wanting to escape regimes that have a lot of problems? There's a lot of, you know, drug issues that are down there. In Mexico, Guatemala, Venezuela, Nicaragua, all of those places down there, there are a lot of repressive regimes. And can you really hold people accountable, or can you say that people shouldn't try to flee for their lives when they have no opportunities for education, they have no opportunities for healthcare, they have no opportunities for work? These people that are living, a lot of the people that are living south of the border in Central America, South America, they don't have any opportunity, and they're willing to risk life and limb to come to the United States. That was once upon a time considered the pinnacle of all statehood. It was considered the pinnacle, the place to be if you wanted to live a free and happy life, to pursue your own dreams, and to be the best you could be. That was what the United States once offered. And the question now is whether it does or not. So let's go quickly to Israel and see what is happening outside Netanyahu's residence as people there are protesting the 500 days since their people were taken prisoner, people were killed when Hamas attacked Israel. Stand by.
בדרך שלנו, בדרך הישרה, בדרך שהנחילה לנו מגילת העצמאות. אבל קודם כל, אנחנו נחזיר אותם, ועכשיו, עסקה עכשיו.
Again, that's a bit of a little bit of an audio issue there that we're still trying to get taken care of. It seems to be an audio issue is not matching with the video as we travel around the world and take in these various feeds that are important to you, the people of the United States and the people of the world. So stand by. We'll go back to Austin, Texas, and see what is happening over there. And while we try to get these audio technical difficulties worked out. Stand by 1 second, please. So what does democracy look like in your neck of the woods? Democracy, for me, is what is democracy? It is the ability to do what I want while not encroaching upon my fellow man. And I say fellow man, and I mean men, women, transgender, whoever you are. You know, not encroaching and taking away the rights of my fellow citizens. That's what democracy looks like to me. And I believe that democracy should be a thing where we're all trying to do the best for ourselves and for those around us. This is a group effort and not just an effort of one person to try and rape and pillage and take the system for all it's worth. So let's go to Washington, D.C. and see what is happening there as people are, looks like they are near the White House and they are protesting things that are going on. Okay, stand by 1 second.
This message, stay off the sidewalk, okay? So can we chant that together? Stay off the sidewalk. 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 Thank you. Perfect.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sija. I came all the way from Maryland. And we have tons of federal workers that live in state of Maryland who are living in fear and anxiety right now because of what Elon Musk and Donald Trump has done for them. Last month, I had a chance to go to Women's March to protest all the issues that Donald Trump has done. We want to make sure no cuts to NIH, no cuts to education, no cuts to Medicare, and no cuts to health care for everybody. And as of right now, the politics is broken. And we are all very frustrated to see what Elon Musk has done for the federal workers. He has tried to lie off tons of federal workers who are trying to do something that, federal worker has done something right to serve the American people. And this is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
And last week, I was at one of the CFPB headquarters talking to the workers who are dealing and affected by Elon Musk. And I need to tell you, Elon Musk is a leader of bankruptcy. He has done something wrong. He's a billionaire. He is trying to take away the cuts of the federal services to the people. And this is why we are coming here to stand up against Elon Musk, because Elon Musk is an evil to the American. And this is why we are not going back. We are fighting back to make sure we bring the federal workers back to their job. Yes. And next fall, we are going to put the Democrat back to the Congress and the Senate. And in 2028, we will vote for the next Democratic president to make sure we are putting the country forward. Yes. And this is why we come here together to be all kind to one together during this difficult moment. And this is why I'm proud to join all with you. Thank you very much. Let's win this!
So you can see that young man was very adamant about talking smack about Elon Musk. He seems to be upset with everything that is going on with the federal workers, and rightfully so. The federal workers, they should have their day in court, and they should not be, in my opinion, they should not be dismissed without due process. You know, I guess there are laws in place and there are rules in place that protect federal workers from just being fired summarily without any kind of due process. And it seems like the big problem with a lot of people that are voicing their opinions about Donald Trump and Elon Musk and their gutting of the American federal agencies and the workers that are, help run this country and make it smoothly operate, is that when the purge and the firings are taking place, it seems like, what is happening is that the balance of powers, the checks and balances of powers and things like that is going one-sided, it's going lopsided, it's going over to Donald Trump's. We've seen what's happened already with Mayor Adams in New York. There was a quid pro quo after Mayor Adams offered preferential business treatment to foreign companies and foreign countries because they essentially paid him off. There was an indictment and a hearing and a court ruling that was pending, a court hearing that was pending, and it seems like Donald Trump, with the mark of a pen, was able to ask people to get rid of that, and so there have been several attorneys and prosecutors who have quit, who have resigned because they don't want to be part and party to actions that go against the Constitution. They don't want to be considered historically to be corrupt, and they believe that what Donald Trump is doing through the justice system, through the judiciary, is not right, and it's a bad problem. So we're going to go live real quick to what's happening in Israel, and I think we've got the audio situated and worked out there. So stand by 1 second as we go live to Israel.
Come on, מאז ה-35. מושחת! בפנים! בסוף תהיה בפנים! מושחת! בפנים! בסוף תהיה בפנים! מושחת! בפנים! בסוף תהיה בפנים!
We appreciate that was the feed that was coming in from the Associated Press live from Israel. And I want to say thank you very much. We appreciate that ongoing contribution that the Associated Press is making and allowing for the news to be heard across the world and here on NetNewz TV. So we have found a feed that is happening in New York. In New York City, there is a protest that is happening currently about stop Elon Musk, stop Donald Trump's, in theory, unconstitutional executive orders. You know, the problem is that Donald Trump could really do some great things. I think a lot of people believe that Donald Trump could do some great things, and I think that a lot of people think that some of the stuff that he says is good, right? Like, I think that, you know, we do need to have some kind of control on the southern borders. Canada, I mean, the Canadian border, there's probably not much happening up there. I mean, the Canadians, if you've ever really been to Canada, you know that the Canadians are up there doing their best, and they're a great trading partner for the United States. I was recently in Canada, and the Canadians themselves are really dismayed at what's happening, what Donald Trump has said. It's kind of ridiculous, the tariffs that he wants to put on one of our best trading partners, a country that we have had a very long history with, and culturally, legally, we have a lot of similarities with Canada. We do a lot of business with Canada. There's a lot of crossover, a lot of synergies. And Trump, for whatever reason, he's decided to do what he's done. And it's probably going to drive Canada away from us. And, you know, maybe Canada will join the EU, the European Union. And what will happen to the United States at that point? I don't know. But only Trump will know. But it seems like his policies towards Canada are unfounded. But we found a feed that's coming live from New York City, I should say. And we'll bring that to you. And the people there, let's see what they have to say and what they are talking about and why they are protesting. Stand by as I bring you that feed.
KKK, no fascist USA!
No Trump! No KKK, no fascist USA!
No Trump! No KKK, no fascist USA!
No Trump! No KKK, no fascist USA!
No! 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 In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America! No! 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 In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America! No! 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 In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America! No! 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 In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America! No! 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 In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America! No! 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 In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America! Welcome, everybody! Make some noise! That the fascist regime must go in the name of humanity! You are needed to change history! Make some noise for yourself, beautiful people!
disgraced in 2016. If you know that's right, make some noise. Fascism is consolidating power rapidly in the world's most powerful country.
We need support.
And we can't let that happen, can we? We're at a threshold of a climate tipping point with nuclear armed powers at each other's throats. This fascism threatens the very future of humanity and life on the planet. And that's why we say the Trump fascist regime must go. Trump 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 must go.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it is not the aim or the goal of this news organization, NetNewz TV, or any company that I'm affiliated with to overthrow any government whatsoever. I think that we should all engage in the democratic process, and any change should happen through voting. I don't believe that any change should happen through rebellion, revolution. I don't think we're there at the moment. I think that what we witnessed on January 6th was a disgrace. I think that people should have obeyed the law, and I think that people should have just accepted the election, and they should have went to the polls and voted, which is what they did 4 years after that. But I think what happened is a disgrace. What happened on January 6, 2021 is a disgrace. And the people that are calling for revolution right now, I don't think that we need to have a revolution. I think that we need to all mobilize, if that is what you want to do, and vote your conscience at the polls and get engaged. So there are a lot of things that we do. But as you can see, the people in New York are very upset with what they see as fascism. I mean, what you have is Donald Trump has historically been a person that says, Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. And the riots and the revolutions, the riots that were happening down in Charleston several years ago, where President Trump at that time said there are good people on both sides, right? He said there are good people on both sides. So he gave voice to and supported seemingly, the alt-right or the KKK or any kind of name your favorite racial bigoted alt-right, far-right political party. And it seems like he supported them. And indeed, we saw a lot of that happening on January 6th. So, recently it's been scary for many people to see somebody like Elon Musk, who has access to their social security number, who has access to all of their data, because President Trump has given him and his people at Doge access to their information. So, what are we to think when Elon Musk is up there giving the Nazi salute, and when Elon Musk is meeting with the AfD, the alt-right party out of Germany? And what are we to do? What are we to think when Vice President J.D. Vance goes to Europe, goes to Munich this past week, and he says things like Germany has to start engaging with the alt-right. They have to listen to them. Now, I believe that, everybody has a right to free speech, and indeed we should engage with people. But we as Americans, cannot go into other countries and we can't tell them what to do. If J.D. Vance, as the vice president, is going to have a meeting with the leader of the alt-right without meeting with the head of the German state, well, there seems to be something wrong with that. What kind of message is that sending to our partners in Europe? What kind of message is that sending to the people in Russia, right? And what does that really say about J.D. Vance and his understanding and his grasp of geopolitics and international politics? So let's just go really quickly to the Fox feed that was available on YouTube, to what J.D. Vance said and how he addressed the different heads of state at the Munich Security Conference that happened just this past week. Stand by 1 second. I'll bring that to you.
Been fortunate enough to be given political power by our respective peoples to use it wisely to improve their lives. And I want to say that, you know, I was fortunate in my time here to spend some time outside the walls of this conference over the last 24 hours. And I've been so impressed by the hospitality of the people, even of course, as they're reeling from yesterday's horrendous attack. And the first time I was ever in Munich was with my wife, actually, who's here with me today, on a personal trip. And I've always loved the city of Munich, and I've always loved its people. And I just want to say that we're very moved, and our thoughts and prayers are with Munich and everybody affected by the evil inflicted on this beautiful community. We're thinking about you, we're praying for you, and we will certainly be rooting for you in the days and weeks to come. Now, I hope that's not the last bit of applause that I get, but we gather at this conference, of course, to discuss security, and normally we mean threats to our external security. I see many great military leaders gathered here today. But while the Trump administration is very concerned with European security and believes that we can come to a reasonable settlement between Russia and Ukraine, and we also believe that it's important in the coming years for Europe to step up in a big way to provide for its own defense, the threat that I worry the most about vis-a-vis Europe is not Russia, it's not China, it's not any other external actor.
So just momentarily, what a lot of people see J.D. Vance saying is that internal and external threats. So, you know, if J.D. Vance, I mean, let's just play this out for a second. J.D. Vance goes over to Europe and he meets with the head of the alt-right party, which, you know, many people in Europe see as a Nazi party, right? They see that they are a party that, you know, is anti-immigrant, pro-German, pro-white, and there's nothing wrong with being, you know, against or pro anything, right? It's just that where is your balance? You know, you have to be accepting of other people as well. But anyway, so J.D. Vance goes in and he starts talking about the threats within, the threats, you know, the internal threats and the foreign threats, and then he goes on and he starts talking about the different threats that Ukraine is experiencing and you know, by Russia, and he tries to tie it into a larger issue where the United States is going to try and broker a deal between Ukraine and Russia, and you know, as we know recently, Pete Hegseth, who is leading the military here in the United States, said that it is unrealistic for Ukraine to think that they're going to have their sovereign borders back again. You know, what is it, pre-2014, I think, when President Putin initially started his onslaught and his invasion of Crimea, and then the subsequent war in Ukraine. So he said that that's ridiculous for them to think that that's going to happen. But you know, what are the benefits to engaging with these alt-right countries or these totalitarian, authoritarian dictators? Well, I guess it engages them in a dialogue, and any dialogue can be good, and you can find out what their motives are, what their wants and their needs are, and how bad they really want to take over other parts of the world, and why they're doing that. But I think for the people of the West here in the United States, and I think in Western Europe specifically, and to a greater degree across the world, you know, people are wondering, why is Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and Elon Musk and, you know, all of those people, all those tech bros, you know, that are behind J.D. Vance, you know, we know who you are. We don't have to spell you out, the people that are once upon a time, behind PayPal and those people that are involved with AI companies that like to use names from J.R.R. Tolkien's books. We know who you are, and we know that's why J.D. Vance is where he is. But, you know, when you engage those people in dialogues, what happens? I guess you find out a little bit about what they want and what they do, and maybe there is a little bit of control that you can have over them if you engage them in dialogues. But, you know, when does the person who thinks that they're the greatest salesman in the world or the greatest master or negotiator in the world, when do they really become a puppet for somebody who is maybe a master chess player or something like that? You know, I mean, it's one thing to be a business person, right? But it's another to be a master chess player. So let's go back over to hear what J.D. Vance continued to say while he was at the Munich Security Conference this past week. Stand by 1 second.
That the Romanian government had just annulled an entire election. He warned that if things don't go to plan, the very same thing could happen in Germany too. Now, these cavalier statements are shocking to American ears. For years, we've been told that everything we fund and support is in the name of our shared democratic values. Everything from our Ukraine policy to digital censorship is billed as a defense of democracy. But when we see European courts canceling elections and senior officials threatening to cancel others, we ought to ask whether we're holding ourselves to an appropriately high standard. And I say ourselves because I fundamentally believe that we are on the same team. We must do more than talk about democratic values, we must live them.
So a lot of people would think that it's very rich for J.D. Vance to talk about democratic principles and shared values across Europe when he goes out and he doesn't even meet with the president of Germany, where that's the country that hosted this Munich Security Conference, and he meets with the alt-right. It's very interesting to think about that. And then, you know, when you talk about J.D. Vance in the digital world, where he has such a deep history and connections and relationships with people who really run the internet. I mean, J.D. Vance has connections with people who run the internet, and they're looking at all your information. And now J.D. Vance and his friend Elon Musk, and arguably, you know, one could argue that J.D. Vance is the person that brought Elon Musk into the political world, into Washington. Yes, of course, Elon Musk wanted to get involved in politics after he saw the attempted assassination of Donald Trump while it happened in Pennsylvania. Now what's happening? I mean, J.D. Vance and Elon Musk and the tech bros now have access to all of our data, and they have more and more information about you. And as we know, they can geo-target all of you and give you a serving ad. And what many people are starting to say is that the internet and social media, it's all about control. So we've seen, you know, the leaders of Facebook, we've seen the leaders of the Washington Post, we've seen the leaders of the presidents of Amazon, we've seen the people from Google, we've seen media companies all kowtow to President Trump, and indeed they're giving him money for his library or just personal donations, and people are having a real problem with that. So we're going to go over to New York one more time and see what's happening over in New York and see what those people are all about. Stand by.
Say this: if you believe in the promise of America, or if, like me, you believe the promise of America was seen in slavery and genocide of the native people and it continues around the world, then I tell you what, we need to be sharing the same stage right now. We need to be discussing why are we facing fascism? Fascism wasn't installed in America now by a coup. They tried that 4 years ago, 8 years ago, 4 years ago. It was installed through a legitimate election. And now the Democrats are telling you to respect that. Fascism, whether elected, fair, or fraudulent, is never legitimate. So we got to talk about what kind of society, what kind of country elects a fascist like Trump. You have to think about that deeply. It's not a glib answer. I'm trying to bring something to you right now. This is, again, very serious times, and we need the kind of movement where we are discussing with each other, arguing with each other, debating with each other, not excluding and ghosting with each other. All right, that has to stop. And the struggle should be vigorous amongst ourselves about how we're going to stop this. What comes after? It's got to be vigorous, but we have to unite. It is not easy to put millions of people into the streets and keep them in the streets until they actually win their demand. It is not true that the protests of 2020 accomplished nothing. That is not true, even as they've continued to murder black and brown people at rates surpassing what happened before then. Even though the president and vice president took a knee and put some kente cloth on in the Capitol, and a year and a half later said, fund the police, fund the police, fund the police. So we have to talk about why that happened, and we can disagree about that. But we have to actually fight that. I say I'm not being loud enough. Okay, well, I'll be loud and say this. And I want to say it with you, and then I'm going to make one more point. An invitation, actually. I want you to take that pledge one more time. In the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America. We refuse to accept a fascist America. And that's what it is. Trump, fascist MAGA movement must go. All right, I said I had an invitation. We need a culture of resistance. We need a culture of radical change. We need a culture of revolution. And I told you I was the spokesperson of Revolution Books. This Thursday night at Revolution Books at 132nd Street and Malcolm X Boulevard, the jazz greats, William Parker, amazing jazz bassist and innovator, the founder of the Vision Festival, Arturo Farrell of the Afro-Latin Jazz Orchestra, Burnt Sugar, one of the most incredible, multifarious jazz ensemble, the revolutionary rock band Outer National, are all going to be at Revolution Books to start off a cultural movement against this MAGA fascism of Trump. So I invite you all to be there. Go to revolutionbooksnyc.org. So with that, I'm back to Samantha.
Trump must go! 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 Trump must go!
Trump must go!
Trump must go!
Trump must go!
Trump must go!
Trump must go!
Trump must go!
Trump must go!
Trump must go!
Trump must go!
If you're taking video, if you're taking photos, be sure to tag us so we can spread it. We're at Refuse Fascism on whatever platform you're on.
All right, guys, smash that like button, share this live stream.
Be sure
I will
to connect
get
with us,
some
to
more
sign up.
interviews
This is
when I
not
can.
a one-day we're done thing. We
Shout out
are
to
launching
status
this
crew
mass
members,
struggle today
DJ,
and going forward
Perry,
from here. We gotta
Jay,
grow,
and
we
Gigi.
gotta strengthen, and
Thank
you
you very
gotta
much,
be
status
part of
crew
it.
new members. We really appreciate it. That is
And I
how we
love
are
that
able
you're
to
clapping. The next
do
step
this
is signing
recording,
up.
on the ground reporting.
There's flyers around. Scan it if you got one.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, there are many, many people that are very upset with President Trump, and you know, this network, this news organization, if it can even be called that, right? We are a fledgling news organization. We have no money. We're totally self-funded. We don't receive any money from any advertisers and things like that. This is just really a labor of love, and we're trying to get the word out and spread the news and educate the people. And whether you're Republican or Democrat, or whether you're a MAGA or you're not, or you believe in the rule of law, or if you don't, you have the right to voice your opinion. What you don't have the right to do is you don't have the right to expect, if you go out and commit a crime, hurt anybody, hurt policemen, try to invade the Capitol, you shouldn't expect that you should be able to get off scot-free. You know, we are still a rule of law, and a nation that believes in laws, and we shall see what happens in the future about that. So let's go real quick to where do you want to go? Where do you want to go around the world? Let's see what's happening here. This is some protest out of D.C., and we can see what's happening here. It doesn't look like anything is really exciting, but let's go back over and have a quick look at what's happening with the Associated Press in Israel. And this is protesters are gathered outside Netanyahu's residence as they mark 500 days of war with Hamas. And as we know, there are still people that have been, that are imprisoned and being held against their will by Hamas, even though there have been people that have been let go. Their prisoners have been released to the joy and much relief to their family members and things like that. So stand by as we go outside of Israel, President Netanyahu's residence. Stand by. So that was the Associated Press feed that we were picking up via live from YouTube, and that was happening from Israel. Thank you very much, Associated Press. We appreciate that. It looks like their live feed ended at 1845 GMT. So that would be what time? It went a little bit late, and it is what, almost 11:15 Eastern. What is that? 14:15 Eastern. Sorry, 11:15 Pacific, 14:15 Eastern. So that was that one, and now let's see what we can do. Let's go as we trip through the world, as we find out what's happening. Looks like there's still things happening in New York. There's a little bit of things happening in Austin, Texas, and that is where is that? That's from Sky News, and that's happening, and it's a coup, they say, and really not too exciting there. But let's see if we can bring you something else that that might be fun. For you to watch or hear. Okay, stand by. Yeah, it's a little bit. So let's go. We'll go live to this real quick, and this is something that is being brought to you by ABC 7 News, WJLA, and this is started streaming 2 hours ago, and it is a live shot of the Capitol, and it looks like they've got the pond there in front of them. And remember, on January 6th, this is the exact same pond, the exact same lake that there were many people walking across. There was a guy that was dressed as well, I'll tell you in a second here. Hold on. This is a, I'm just going to voice over this real quick. This is a look at the Capitol building there, and you recall that on January 6th there were many people that were storming the Capitol as they tried to gain access and stop the counting of the ballots and the certification of the ballots. Now recall that the water behind you, there was a person that was dressed as George Washington, and very reminiscent of George Washington crossing the Delaware, as he led his troops in a fight and in revolution against the British Army. I can't say that the January 6th was anything like the British Army or anything like that, but revolution. But many people are very, were very, how do I say, supportive of that, for whatever reason. So we'll go back to New York City and see what's happening there, and it looks like our coverage may be wrapping up here. Our coverage of the protest may be wrapping up, so stand by. Okay, well, the video that you're seeing right now is coming out of New York, and I'm not exactly sure where that is. It could possibly be Washington Square, but it doesn't seem like there's any audio associated with that. There's no audio coming into my feed at the moment, so whoever is doing the audio does not have it going on. There's a woman with a sign that says, "Twinkle, twinkle, little Tsar, Putin put you where you are," and rage, rage against the dying of our rights instead of the dying of the light. I appreciate that. But unfortunately, we can't hear this woman's audio for whatever reason. And let's see if we can. Stand by 1 second. Let's see if we can get that audio situated. Stand by. Here we go.
Just talking on Facebook isn't the answer. You feel you're doing something because you're talking about it, but you're not doing something till you do something.
Absolutely. And what do you think about the Democrats' response to all this? They've been warning us for years about Trump and fascism, but their response to this...
They have had their nose up their ass, and I've supported them with money and everything else, and it was pissing down a rat hole.
I have thought that it is right-wing people that misrepresented themselves.
No, I'm a member. I'm a retired media person.
Really
I will talk to you.
Want you here. I understand, but if you have some agenda other than just to document what's going on here,
I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is a video that is coming to you, and a commercial that's coming to you from YouTube. And I'd rather not show that YouTube video and that commercial, because I don't really necessarily I don't get any money from it, and I don't need to promote anybody else's thing at the moment. I mean, so yeah, that's all I feel about that. So stand by 1 second. I'll go back to that feed in New York City where the woman is talking about what she believes is happening here in the United States.
Absolutely. Let me see something. We could walk Okay, actually, you want to tell me what are some of your biggest concerns about Trump becoming president now?
Yeah. So my biggest concern is his dismantling of institutions and trampling on all of our rights. I mean, if he wants to do something within the law that I disagree with, well, I'll disagree. But if he wants to start dismantling our government and dismantling democracy, then I'm out on the streets. And that's what I really seriously am concerned about.
And you know,
who are you with?
Status Quo. We're an independent channel on YouTube.
Okay.
So Trump has quoted Napoleon stating, "He who saves his country does not violate any laws." Do you think Trump is bluffing, or would actually blow up the courts in order to stopping gutting his agencies?
4 years ago, we laughed him off, but I think he had 4 years to prepare, and I think he is incredibly prepared now, and I think he is in with all of these institutions like Heritage and Project 2025, and I'm absolutely convinced that we should take him at his word, and that he will start to be an autocratic king, and that we should take him at his word. We should believe him for what he says, and we should fight like hell to make sure that his wishes don't come true.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you. Status Quo. All right, so smash that like button. I know we got a couple thousand people in here, 7,000. Let me see. All right, so one group kind of split. Yeah. What's that? Yeah, sure. Tell me. Go ahead. We're live right now.
All right. All right. So it's Allison Langley, and I am a citizen who lives abroad, but I pay my taxes and I vote here.
Thank you, Allison. All right. So the group split off. One group is marching. The other group is staying here in Washington Square Park. Let me kind of figure out what I'm going to do here, but smash that like button, share this live stream. We got a couple new members in here. Shout out to the new members. Thank you very much for becoming a supporting member. Let's see. All right, also, if you are not subscribed to our channel, subscribe now. We are on the ground, basically all over the country, covering different stories, many different protests. All right, so let me see if I can get to the front here.
Yes. Sure.
So let me just get your sign. So just kind of talk to me, tell me you're a teacher. What are your biggest concerns?
I teach kindergarten, and since I was in kindergarten myself, the basis of social and emotional learning has been fairness and kindness. And I cannot believe what I see in front of me with this administration and its deliberate cruelty. Its policies just are deliberately cruel to every vulnerable part of the population they could possibly single out. And it makes it hard to know what to say to children when they ask you what is going on or what do you think of Trump, because as a teacher you're supposed to stay neutral. It's very difficult. I'm not going to stop teaching anti-racism the way that I've taught it for as long as I've been a teacher, and most of the teachers that I know feel the same way. But to have schools under attack and the Department of Education under attack, I'm a special ed teacher. Funds for special education do come from the Department of Education, and I don't know what to expect, but I will be out here fighting.
Absolutely. And do you want to give your name?
My name is Nora Keene.
Good.
So that was from our friends in New York City. They're at Washington Square Park, and they're with a company called Status Quo. And they are fighting the good fight, and they're about getting the word out, and they are helping to promote the information that is happening around the world and around the United States. The woman that they were just interviewing, she said that she was a special ed teacher. And so a special ed teacher is somebody who really cares about children, who really cares about people in general. And their jobs are not easy. You know, while normal, in quotation mark, kids are out playing and doing things that, in quotation mark again, normal kids do. Special ed kids maybe are having difficulty talking to people, and they might not look at you in the eyes, or they might think differently about things, or they might not be able to control their hands and their arms and their emotions. And so a lot of times it's very difficult to deal with kids that are special ed. So, you know, recently Elon Musk was in the White House, and he was trying to educate the people on things that he's doing and why he's doing them, and he was talking about all of the fraud and waste that is going on to in the American government, as if you know, as if he hasn't been benefited from the American system. How much money do you think that has gone to Tesla? How much money has gone to SpaceX? How much money have the American people indirectly paid through their taxes to Elon Musk and his companies? From what I understand, Elon Musk wants to get rid of a lot of the companies, a lot of the government agencies that have been investigating his companies, such as Neuralink, Tesla, SpaceX. So why is he doing that? We don't know, but it's interesting just to ponder about the different conflicts of interest, the possible conflicts of interest that are between Elon Musk, Donald Trump, the American government, and our taxes. You know, is he benefiting from our tax dollars with his companies in private business? Not only that, you know, what are his connections abroad? You know, how much business is he doing in China? And if he has special access to things, you know, is that really a good thing? So we'll go right now to listen and see what Elon Musk had to say while he was in the White House this past week with President Trump. And this is brought to you by PBS, and we're picking it up via the internet, the live open internet. Thank you very much, PBS. Really appreciate it. Stand by.
From Gaza is, quote, the only viable plan to enable a different future for the region.
I want to turn
Rubio
to another
said
source of
Hamas,
excitement,
quote, must be
Elon Musk.
eradicated,
The
unquote.
first thing I want you
this
all
comes
to do
as
is
Israel
watch
continues to block
this
the entry.
So stand by just 1 second while we get the audio in this situated, and stand by 1 second. Here we go, real quick, and we'll see what you say. And this is coming to you from PBS again, and it's part of the Atlantic, so it might be a little bit rough, but stand by. We'll try and do the switching as smoothly as possible.
Anymore. There are only a few people in Palestine, in the Gaza Strip, to be destroyed. It is an ugly crime for America to supply Israel with weapons against the Houthis.
Okay, so stand by just with me, bear with me just 1 second as we try and get that taken care of. We try and get all this stuff taken care of. Stand by. I see where that was coming from. When you have a lot of windows open and a lot of feeds coming in, it's just really kind of challenging. Stand by 1 second. I'll try and bring you that feed of Elon Musk at the White House when he was talking to President Trump, and President Trump was hanging his head and just letting Elon Musk. Remember, Elon Musk's child, one of his many children, went over close to President Trump, and President Trump kind of moved away as if he was afraid of the child or didn't want to be next to the child. So stand by 1 second. I'll bring you that feed right now.
if it went to Mozambique instead of Gaza, I'm like, okay, that's not as bad, but still, why are we doing that?
So, Teddy, you're a Muscologist, among other.
Not an expert on whatever Elon's talking about, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody is.
Yeah. But I want you all to sort of dissect that almost anthropologically or obviously politically. The whole scene is very unusual.
So we tried to bring you that, but there was a lot of things that were happening with that, so we won't do that anymore. But we'll slip over to what's happening in New York City and what's going on there with Status Coup. It's an organization, I believe, that's based out of New York, and they are at Washington Square Park in New York City, and they are talking to various people who are there protesting against what they see as an attempted coup. President Donald Trump is trying to take over the United States, and he's trying to undermine, according to them, our constitutional rights and things like that. So stand by as we go live to New York City.
Journalism at democracynow.org/give. Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has arrived in Saudi Arabia, where he's scheduled to begin talks with Russia over ending the war in Ukraine. But Ukrainian and European officials have not been invited to take part. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky appeared on Meet the Press Sunday.
I will never accept any decisions between the United States and Russia about Ukraine. Never. And our people, never. And our adults and children and everybody. It can't be so. This is the war in Ukraine against us, and it's our human losses.
Zelensky has also rejected a demand by President Trump for Ukraine to give United States ownership of half of Ukraine's rare earth minerals. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron is...
disassembling of democracy.
What are some of your biggest concerns about Trump's power grab and demolition of the government agencies?
Well, I think that almost everybody that he's appointed to his cabinet is grossly unqualified, maybe disqualified. It's going to lead the country into, I think, despair that we're not going to be, it's going to take generations to get out of. I also think that he picks on the weak. He's a bully. He's not going to get anything done. His idea of leadership is divisiveness. And if you learn from history, that's not how you lead. You lead by uniting people. And he is totally unaware of how to do that.
Absolutely. And, we had... For years, Democrats have been warning us about fascism, about Trump, but their actions recently have been kind of pretty tame. Would you say so?
Yes, absolutely. I think what the problem is, I think the Democrats figured that they could just lay back and Trump's actions would speak for themselves. Trump is one thing. He's a good marketer. And he was able to go at people's primal fears. And the Democrats weren't counting on that. And I think our Democratic leadership has a lot of work to do.
Would you like to say anything else?
I think that's about it.
Do you want to give your name? It's up to you. No? Cool.
I'm good.
Take time.
Sure thing. I've started getting involved with
I'm going to stay for a minute. So they're still rallying here in Washington Square Park. I'm not sure if they're going to be marching again.
Sorry? Yeah, I worked for the State Department for 31 years.
And just kind of tell me what brings you out here.
I want federal workers to be respected, and I want the Constitution to be respected, because that's what I swore allegiance to.
And what are some of your biggest concerns about Trump's power grab and dismantling of the agencies?
The most important is that there's a process for funding the federal government, and we should be following it. And we need to have our voices respected.
And what would you say about the Democrats' response to all this? It seems that it's been pretty tame.
No comment on that, sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for taking time. Appreciate it. Thank you. Want something that brings you out here?
Yeah, I'm here for my rights as a woman. I have the right, my choice to go and get an abortion if I need to. I'm a granddaughter of immigrants. They have the right to come here and choose to be able to have freedom, to have a chance to follow their dreams.
Absolutely. What are some of your biggest concerns about Trump's power grab and dismantling the agencies?
I mean, first of all, my women's rights to choose, the Project 2025, that happening. Him taking away the arts. I'm an actor. I'm a theater kid. Seeing that breaks my heart. Going into the industry now. I mean, ICE. Seeing that people getting stripped away from their homes, it's heartbreaking, and I'm here to support that, to fight for people who might not have a voice.
And what do you think about Trump giving all this power to Elon Musk?
Bullshit. It's utter bullshit. It shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't happen.
Absolutely.
Period.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Well, that was Status Quo, based out of New York City. And they were in Washington Square Park, and you can see that they interviewed a woman that said that she was unhappy what's happening. I mean, as you know, from what I understand, President Trump is now the header, the de facto leader of JFK, the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. That means that he's in charge of all of the musicals, the plays, whatever kind of artistic endeavor that happens over there. That's going to be something that President Trump is going to be in charge of. So that's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. And the woman that just spoke, she said that she was a child of immigrants, and she's also a theater person. So she's just really unhappy about what's happening here in the United States. So let's go back over to New York City and let's see what Status Quo is going to ask this man who is standing by and who seems to have been out there for most of the day. Stand by 1 second.
He's already starting to disrupt, ignore the courts. Yeah. He feels he's above it. So, yeah, but I mean, it would be great if the Supreme Court would stand up for us, but I don't think that's going to happen. That's where this has to keep going on. Right. I don't think the courts are going to. I've been listening to a great podcast, Master Plan by The Lever, and how this was all in motion since Nixon, to take over the United States, and basically now we have this coup and dictatorship.
Absolutely, and we've been warned for years now about fascism, about Trump, but there hasn't been any action on Democrats' part.
Right.
And their response to all this has been kind of like tame.
Yeah.
Would you agree? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've been calling my senators every day, telling them to get a backbone and to just say no to everything and whip up all of. There should be no Democrats voting for any of Trump's nominees, even if they're going to get appointed. I mean, they need to be coming out in the streets with us and standing up to this. They need a backbone.
Did you sign say you're a teacher?
Yeah.
What are some of your concerns about Trump's dismantling of agencies and his power grab?
I teach a lot of kids with special needs, so they're defunding. That money comes from the federal government, so that money could be gone. Asking us to teach the Bible, perhaps. Erasing the actual history of what happened in this country, and telling us what to teach, what not to teach. Yeah, I feel horrible for the students and what their future is going to be if this continues the way it's going.
Do you want to give your name? It's up to you.
Adam Marcus.
Cool. Thank you, Adam. Thank you.
I met the guy. He's right
So still a lot of people here in Washington Square Park.
So that was another citizen that is in New York City, and he too was a teacher, and he said that he's taught a lot of kids that had special needs and things like that, so it's very challenging. And he's concerned about what's going to happen here in the United States if President Trump and J.D. Vance and Elon Musk and their tech bros who want to rewrite, possibly, arguably, maybe, want to rewrite history. And what is going to be taught in the United States of America? Are we going to learn about the history that we came from and the things that, the good things, the bad things, the ugly things that we did, which I argue that we need to learn about that. We need to learn about all the good things and the bad things that we did. But we need to learn about that. But I think part of the problem and part of the situation and why we have this rise of arguably fascist authoritarians around the world is because we're trying to do too much too soon, right? And I could possibly get in trouble for saying that, but the saying is that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. All right. So most of us we like to think we are enlightened individuals. We like to think that we accept people for who they are, and we like to think that everybody, in theory, should have equal opportunity to everything. That's a core fundamental, and that's something that I believe. But at the same time, you can't make somebody that looks like me, who has only been alive 5 decades or so, responsible for things that happened 100 years ago. You can't, if you're going to make me responsible for things and limit my opportunities for things that happened 100 years ago, well, why do you have to stop at 100 years? Why can't you go back 200 years, 300 years, or 2,000 years for that matter, and hold people responsible for what they hold whole countries of people responsible for what they did 2,000 years ago? I mean, you know, that if you're going to hold me responsible for something that happened 50 years ago or 100 years ago, then by that same argument, you can hold anybody responsible throughout eternity. And that's kind of ridiculous, right? So you can't really do that. And so what we really need is, we really need to come to a meeting of the minds, I believe, where people are responsible for themselves and what they do and what their daily actions are, right? So let's go real quick back over to New York City and status quo. And we're talking with the guy that is in New York City, and let's hear what he has to say. Stand by.
Disagree with it. The way to change it is by changing the laws, not by firing everyone. There are billions and trillions of dollars that go to needed programs for healthcare, for human rights, for our VA, for USAID across the world that save millions of lives, for research. It's all been taken down, and if you want to make it better, there's ways to make it better. You don't just destroy it. It's going to take years to build it back up if we don't stop it right now. So this is unconstitutional. It's a coup, and we've got to stop it. The only people who are going to stop it are us.
Absolutely. And Trump has quoted Napoleon saying he defends his country does not violate any laws.
Well,
and then you have Vance also alluding to possibly disobeying court orders using Trump as bluffing, or what he can actually do in courts stopping him from the agencies.
I'm very worried he's going to ignore the courts and treat everything like it's his playground and ignore the laws. I think he has no interest in rule of law. I don't think he ever has. Going back 40 years to New Yorkers know this. He's always ignored everything. He's treated law just as a tool for his own warfare and for his own profit. I think we ignore. He has told us who he was from day one in 2015, and everything that he hasn't done because people have stopped him. In the first administration, it was people in his own administration, it was people in Congress. They don't exist anymore. It's up to us. If we don't stop him, no one will.
Would you like to give your name? It's up to you.
My name's Greg. I'm from New York.
Cool. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
So that was Status Quo, and Status Quo just did did an interview with Greg from New York, and Greg voiced his opinion that he's very upset about Trump, and he's concerned about what he's going to do, if he's going to undermine the courts, or if he's just going to run roughshod over them, listen to what the courts say, or run roughshod over them and just, impart his will and do what he wants. I mean, that's what an authoritarian is. That's what an authoritarian person does. I think that a lot of people here in the United States don't really. I think the people in the United States, we Americans, are really smart. I think that most of us, our hearts are in the right place, and we want the best for ourselves, our families, and for everybody around the world, right? But I think that we're being misled. We're being misled by some things, and I think that rather than deal emotionally with the problem or listen to rhetoric emotionally, we need to step back and try to think about it and listen to all of these things that people are talking about and deal with them on an intellectual level. Take a breath, step back, think about what people are saying, think about their past histories, think about the things that they've done, and think about what's going to be best for you. Now, are tax breaks to the mega rich, are those going to be best for you? Are those going to be best for your kids if they are at public schools? I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. Possibly it is. But anyway, let's go back to New York and status quo and see what those guys have to say about what they're doing. All right, stand by 1 second.
what needs to be addressed. If we can, and then also, obviously, is a racial component to all of this. You know, Elon Musk is a Nazi. I mean, he told everybody very clearly that he's a Nazi. And so there's a strong racial and ethnic component to that. And this hatred of people based on who they are genetically has to stop. We're all in this together, no matter what race, where we come from, sex. So, yeah. So hopefully we need to keep getting out into the streets because the normal avenues of recourse are closing. You know, he's not obeying judges, so we can't necessarily rely on the system to bring recourse. So we have to think of creative ways. We have to work together to bring change and sort of reimagine our society. You know?
So, what do you think about the Democrats' response to all of this the past couple of weeks? It seems that it's been pretty tame. Would you agree?
I think them trying to get into the Treasury Department is a good thing. I think they're saying the right things, you know. But and I agree to an extent with Hakeem Jeffries that they don't. There's not a lot that they can do politically, especially if the president is just blatantly disregarding the law. You know, what can they do? You know, so. I feel like it's incumbent upon us, the people, to do what they can do. So I'm not being super hard on the Democrats. You know, I'm disappointed with their response to the Gaza conflict, you know, because of their taking contributions from being beholden to AIPAC. You know, that really made me lose a lot of respect for them. But, you know, I still think that at the end of the day, it's incumbent upon us, the people, to sustain a democracy. We can't. It's democracy. It's about the people. It's not just about the politicians. We can't continue to just point fingers at them. What are we doing? You know.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you very much. You want to give your name?
Rich.
Cool. Thank you, Rich.
No problem.
Have a good day.
That was Rich, and he's in New York City, and he's also concerned about what's happening. So we're going to go real quick to what's happening over in, let me see, where can we go real quick, where I can show you something. I need to build a graphic. I'm just going to give you a quick little teaser of what J.D. Vance continued to say. You know, because Rich, what Rich is concerned about is that he's concerned about problems between the races, you know, and it's a very concerning thing, right? You have J.D. Vance, who was recently in Munich, and he met with the alt-right AfD people, and then he goes and he visits, you know, a concentration camp where, you know, arguably millions of people died, were murdered, right? And so you have to wonder, you know, like if Elon Musk is doing the Nazi salute and President Trump is saying that there are good people on both sides and things like that, and J.D. Vance is meeting with the alt-right, and you know, you have to question, you know, their motives and things like that. I mean, you know, I don't know, you have to question where they're going. I mean, it's you know, one would like to believe that Elon Musk is not a racist. One would like to believe that Donald Trump is not a racist, and one would like to believe that J.D. Vance is not a racist, right? You know, and innocent until proven guilty is what we believe here in the United States of America. Innocent until proven guilty, but you have to just question. You have to just wonder, and maybe it's the things of the way they're going about it and making these changes. You know, initiating these executive orders, possibly that has become really challenging, I guess. But you know, you just have to wonder what is happening. So, anyway, stand by 1 second. We'll go quickly to listen to a little bit more about what J.D. Vance had to say when he was at the the Munich Security Conference last week in Germany.
Defenders of democracy against much more tyrannical forces on this continent, and consider the side in that fight that censored dissidents, that closed churches, that canceled elections. Were they the good guys? Certainly not. And thank God they lost the Cold War. They lost because they neither valued nor respected all of the extraordinary blessings of liberty. The freedom to surprise, to make mistakes, to invent, to build. As it turns out, you can't mandate innovation or creativity, just as you can't force people what to think, what to feel, or what to believe. And we believe those things are certainly connected. And unfortunately, when I look at Europe today, it's sometimes not so clear what happened to some of the Cold War's winners. I look to Brussels, where EU commissars warn citizens that they intend to shut down social media during times of civil unrest the moment they spot what they've judged to be, quote, hateful content. Or to this very country, where police have carried out raids against citizens suspected of posting anti-feminist comments online as part of, quote, combating misogyny on the internet, a day of action. I look to Sweden, where 2 weeks ago the government convicted a Christian activist for participating in Quran burnings that resulted in his friend's murder. And as the judge in his case chillingly noted, Sweden's laws to supposedly protect free expression do not, in fact, grant, and I'm quoting, a free pass to do or say anything without risking offending the group that holds that belief. And perhaps most concerningly, I look to our very dear friends, the United Kingdom, where the backslide away from conscience rights has placed the basic liberties of religious Britons in particular in the crosshairs. A little over 2 years ago, the British government charged Adam Smith Connor, a 51-year-old physiotherapist and an Army veteran, with the heinous crime of standing 50 meters from an abortion clinic and silently praying for 3 minutes. Not obstructing anyone, not interacting with anyone, just silently praying on his own. And after British law enforcement spotted him and demanded to know what he was praying for, Adam replied simply, it was on behalf of the unborn son he and his former girlfriend had aborted years before. Now, the officers were not moved. Adam was found guilty of breaking the government's new buffer zones law, which criminalizes silent prayer and other actions that could influence a person's decision within 200 meters of an abortion facility. He was sentenced to pay thousands of pounds in legal costs to the prosecution. I wish I could say that this was a fluke, a one-off crazy example of a badly a single person,
Well,
but no.
That was not Elon Musk. Sorry about that. That was JD Vance, and JD was talking about people's rights being infringed upon, and how horrible it is that Sweden has certain laws, and how there are certain laws in Germany, and there are certain laws across Europe that don't necessarily represent everybody. So of course we have to be careful in what we say, right? You really, really do. And I believe in the freedom of the press, and I believe in the freedom of speech. Everybody has the right to say what they want. And, for example, when, arguably so does Elon Musk, and arguably so does JD Vance, and arguably so does, every other social media mega billionaire. They believe that. But, one begins to question, does Donald Trump do they really believe in the freedom of the speech? I mean, if they are denying access by Associated Press reporters to the press pool or for access to the president to ask questions, and when the former president during his first term, denies access from reporters to his Air Force One ride or to press conferences and things like that, are they really, do they really believe in freedom of the press? That's the thing. Do they really believe in the freedom of the press? And if the government you know, the United States government is going to get rid of public radio, public television, if they're going to do that, and public radio and public television are, you know, in theory, unbiased, or as unbiased as you can be, or if they are the fourth estate that holds government accountable and exposes government for some of the bad things that they do, is that really freedom of the press, or is that one step towards authoritarianism and dictatorship? You know, we have to ask these questions, and we have to look at ourselves long and hard, and we have to be introspective. And it's not all about money, folks. It's not. So anyway, let's go real quick over to the Associated Press feed from Washington, D.C., and hear what they have to say. Stand by 1 second. And thank you very much, Associated Press, for bringing this feed to us live via the internet. Stand by.
Well, it looks like it might be a hard road, but I'm gonna walk it with you. And I know you might have a heavy load, but I can carry some too. I will lift you up when they push you down. I will raise my voice and stand my ground. Well, it looks like it might be a hard road, but I'm gonna walk it with you.
How to take a freezing 43-degree room and turn it into a comfortable 73 degrees in under 5 minutes. This air.
So that feed was coming to you via YouTube, and of course YouTube has to throw in their commercial, and I appreciate that, and I really enjoy that, and that's great. But you know, if YouTube wants to be on my feed, you know, they're putting it out there for the internet, right? So if they want to be on my feed here, then they're going to have to just, you know, pony up and give me some money and that kind of thing. So that's it. Stand by 1 second. We'll go back to that.
One more for you. Y'all know this one. We've got a little twist on it. This little light of ours, because we're all in this together. Logistics. All right, everybody. Wow, we're in it for the long haul here. this little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. This little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. 5, 6, 7, 8. This little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. This little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. This little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. Hide it under a bushel, no! We're gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no! We're gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no! We're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around D.C. All around D.C. We're gonna let it shine. All around D.C. We're gonna let it shine. All around D.C. We're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Here at HHS, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere we go, everywhere we go, we're gonna let it shine. Everywhere we go, we're gonna let it shine.
The Structure Motorized Pergola System is reinventing the way homeowners experience the outdoors. The most versatile, modern, useful outdoor patio space ever designed.
Everywhere we go, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everybody, this little light of mine, we're gonna let it shine. This little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. This little light of ours, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hey, let's give him a hand.
So that was a nice song that was brought to you by some people in Washington, D.C. And as you saw there, we tripped across the world. We were in Israel. We went to Washington, D.C. We went to Austin, Texas. We were in New York City. And people across the nation are protesting, and they're voicing their opinions and their right to free speech and their right to gather and congregate and their right to say how they feel and to voice their opinion against the government when they feel that the government is doing something that is illegal or some injustice has been perpetrated against them. I just want to say thank you very much for joining me. My name is Don Hughes, and this has been a broadcast and a live stream on NetNewz TV. Join us again for another one, and if you'd like to register for the Citizen Journalism Project, you can go to www.hmgi.tv/CJP. That stands for Citizen Journalism Project. There you can register for an account, and you can upload material and be part of the digital revolution and the Citizen Journalism Project. And we will use some of that material on the air during our broadcast. Thanks a lot. Hope to see you soon. Take care.